Hypixel recently announced that they will be removing one of their games to make space for their new games in the PTL. And in today's video, we're gonna be covering the admin and community response to this whole situation. If you haven't watched the original, it's in the pinned comment and description. But before I do go on, don't forget to like and subscribe as it does help me a lot. Check out my group channel in the top right hand corner of the screen as we're really close to 400 subscribers there. And also, join my Discord and follow my Twitter in the description. Anyways, without further ado, enjoy the video. Now, basically, in the last episode of the Hypixel news, I did say I was gonna make this video as a follow-up. And for those of you who haven't watched, I'll quickly recap what I talked about in that video. Basically, Hypixel announced that they're gonna be removing the Hypixel game TowerWars. I mean, obviously a lot of people see this as long overdue. It's been in the prototype lobby for years without getting an update. So yeah, in this video I'm gonna be giving my thoughts and the community's thoughts on this, and then I'm gonna be reading out the admin response to everything. Regardless of which games they're removing, it's always gonna have negative feedback because they're removing a game. It's pretty obvious that people don't like seeing things go, and well, this is one of those cases. So yeah, without further ado, let's talk about TowerWars' removals and some of the points we have. Now, with the admin thread, there was a lot of people replying and a lot of people giving criticism on some of the things said. Probably the most hated part is where they said TowerWars was not as popping as we thought it could be. This obviously got a lot of people mad because TowerWars hasn't been updated in years now. I said this last video, but I'll repeat myself, you haven't updated the game for 3 years except for one Easter achievement which was available for 30 days. And with other games, I've seen this as a consistent pattern that they're just not updating the games. Now, let's start off with the game that is Skyclass, which was removed in 2019. They did have a pretty big update as their last update before removing it, but that was like over a year before the game got removed. And with Skyclass, there might be a way to see why they removed it, but then there's Crazy Walls. Crazy Walls was a game that was very neglected by Hypixel clearly. So, you know, removing Crazy Walls without trying to save it or anything like that is kind of dumb on Hypixel's end. But yeah, the difference with these three games is that, well, Skyclass and Crazy Walls are standalone games, whilst TowerWars is just a PTL game. Still though, I feel like it could have been saved really easily with an update. The game was already set, it just needed a bit of more gameplay, it needed bug fixes, achievements, maybe some slash statuses or something like that, and yeah, obviously there are balancing issues, but these could have easily been fixed. And with TowerWars, I've seen it consistently over 100 players before the Hypixel DDoS. Hypixel also released new PTL games, which also kind of killed off the game. Obviously, TowerWars didn't stick out enough, and just a lack of updates honestly made it go downhill. So honestly, pretty disappointed in that end, but there's also other arguments. And before I do go into the admin response, I did want to say one more thing, which is about them saying that it will not be moving anywhere else on the network. At this rate, they should have just moved it to arcade, as, you know, it's just move it at this rate. I cannot express how many people have said I'd play TowerWars if it was actually released into the arcade lobby. When I say this, I don't only mean arcade mains, I also do mean just normal regular Hypixel players who have nothing to do with TowerWars. Also, moving it there will give it a bigger player base and audience. Like, to be honest, I feel like Capture the Wool is kind of a half-finished game and they already released it to the arcade lobby, so I don't see their point. I'm pretty sure you can't even check the API with Capture the Wool, that's how unfinished it was, and they decided to release it. Regardless of that, Capture the Wool is still a good game and people play it because it got released into the arcade lobby. It does give the game a bit of more exposure when you do fully release it. And the thing is, they could have also easily updated TowerWars. There's a lot of things the community suggested for multiple years that they could have done. The TowerWars community is a community which has been pushing for updates for years now. Regardless if Hypixel completely airs them, they still play the game consistently and they are an active community. There's literally dozens of people who have thousands of TowerWars stars and TowerWars wins. But regardless, let's listen to the Hypixel admins and see what they have to say. Now basically, after all of this backlash, well, the Hypixel admin Don Pereso made a response. If you guys don't know, Don Pereso is basically a lead admin in the Hypixel server, so he has a lot to say. He says, "Hey guys, here's a bit more information about our decision to remove TowerWars and how we handle PTL. First of all, I do appreciate your feedback and a lot of your concerns are entirely warranted. PTL from the start has been advertised as a place for us to drop cool ideas to test with live players. We would develop an idea, make it game, and update it until it either exploded into popularity or players lost interest. This would lead us to either move the game to its own lobby or remove it entirely. When it came time to think about that, we decided that the game did not have enough interest and the team was busy with updates to other projects. The decision was originally to remove it from PTL and not release it and move on from it. But it was such a unique marvel of a minigame that a recurring thought kept creeping in. What if you have time to develop it later? What harm is there to just leave it there in the meantime? It is now years later, 2022, and we're finally ready to admit that we won't be giving it any further updates and we don't think it has the necessary quality to be released into another lobby. This is why we're removing it now, but in reality, we should have removed it years ago. We're sorry for the confusion it has caused. Please understand that this mindset has been discarded. We won't be leaving games on PTL for long anymore. Invaders, for example, is going to be receiving updates until we feel it has enough quality to be released or until players just give up on it. And that's everything that Don Pereso had to say, and to be honest, I do agree with a lot of the stuff that was said. I feel like it could have been saved again, and if it was balanced, I would definitely play it a lot, but still, you know, not a lot of people are interested interested. And with Hypixel's new mindset and Hypixel's response, you can see they're trying to make new games and develop them. Again, this means that there's going to be a new slot for a new PTL game that can replace TowerWars. And I can see both ends of the spectrum here, the Hypixel side and also the community side, but you know, it's a very split thing. And obviously this is only a PTL thing, so I'm not expecting them to remove like dead game modes anywhere else, which is actually pretty good. But yeah, that's about it. Let me know what you think and don't forget to like and subscribe.